Hi, I'm Clark. I did a video a bit ago about how I retired young and went off sailing. Wow, that blew up. We usually got like a couple hundred views on a video, and that's up to about 190,000 views. Along with all those views came a load of comments and a load of questions. So I'm going to talk about a bit of that here. This is really a valid thing to talk about, I think, and I don't think there's enough people talking about their actual experiences and sharing their experiences of living more frugally, living an intentional life, just plain not following the sheep and not letting marketers tell you how to live your life. So I'm going to dedicate one video a month, more or less, to helping out on this topic. We're still a sailing channel, and the rest of the month is going to be about how to anchor and that kind of thing. I hope you all find that interesting. But once a month, I want to talk about hardcore financial stuff. Now, I'm not an expert on this. I don't have any certification whatsoever, and honestly, you'd be a fool to only listen to me, except for the fact that I'm here. You know, it did work for me. So I can't offer you something with promises, but I will promise you that I'm going to tell you exactly what I do and what I did to get here. And I really want to help you. Whatever you choose to do, your path is going to be different than mine. I am not suggesting you retire and live on a sailboat. I'm not suggesting you can't do this unless you make huge amounts of money doing tech or whatever. This should have some insight for most anybody. Emily and I have defined enough for us, and we're living that life. We're working towards staying within the bounds that we've defined. I want you to figure out what's enough for you. I want you to figure out a way to get there, and I want to help you get there. So we're going to do this video series, and we're going to talk about how to get there. There were a lot of comments that came in on this. Some of them were more personal about our actual life, and I'm going to leave it out of this series of videos because we have a series about that. It's called our Adventure Logs, and our next adventure log is going to answer questions like how we met and how we anchor a boat in a foreign country legally and all kinds of stuff like that. If you have any questions like that, comment. I'd prefer you put them in the adventure log comments. One of them, watch one of the adventure logs and put them there because it's easier for me to keep it sorted. But most of the comments had to do with something to do with this financial independence. So once a month, we are going to have another video along these lines to help you get to your version of enough. In this series, we're going to answer questions that have come up in the comments. Lots of different kinds of questions, but they broke down into, let's say, 5 categories. Some of them have to do with theory, and some of them have to do with practical practice things to get to where you want to be. We're going to talk about defining your enough, helping you decide for you what is enough in your life, and trying to figure out maybe how much money you need to get there. I'm not going to share my numbers because they won't apply. It's my numbers. You'll have to figure out your own, but I'm sure we'll have stuff to discuss in that direction. I'm going to do a theory thing on understanding the market, at least to the limit of my ability. I'm going to talk about what kind of really drives the market, in my opinion, and what's safe and what's not, stuff in that direction. I'm going to do a section on building good habits and behaviors. In my years, I've kind of figured out ways of reinforcing habits that I like. You know, like when I invest in something and I take some money that I've saved and I put it into my brokerage account, I can make myself feel really good about that. And if I do it, I want to do it more later. It's based on like neurotransmitters, and it does work. There's science behind it, and I found it very successful. I'm going to do a section on actually doing it, on actually opening up a brokerage account, and on actually making an investment with that brokerage account. These will be some of the first videos out. I know this is kind of like at the end, but the theory will come. It doesn't really matter on the theory so much. The important thing is get that account open and start moving money into your new account. So I'm going to do a video that'll, by the end of that video, you will have an account open. And then another video that will tell you how to invest at least where I and Emily have 90% of our money and have had it since 2000. And if you do that, you're probably pretty safe, but that'll be your decision. Finally, and this is like predominantly what the comments were, I want to talk about community. The comments we received were stories. They were how I've saved up and succeeded, or how I didn't because I had these loads upon me that sidetracked me. It tells me that people want a community that they can tell their stories to. And that makes perfect sense because, you know, we're social animals. We don't just live in a vacuum. We might make a decision alone, but it sure feels good to talk to your buddies and bounce it off them and see what they think. It makes you more committed to your idea. So Emily and I are going to do something to build a community for you. Look down at the description. There's going to be a line there with something you can click on, and it'll take you off to a survey or something. And we're going to start getting lists together. We really care about community, and we know it's important. So we're going to do what we can do to try to build groups of you guys together so you can meet each other, meet each other. You can meet people that have the same goals. You can reinforce each other's thought process. You can help each other out. And, you know, if all your friends are all into blowing money, you can make some friends that aren't. And we're going to have a lot more about this in future videos. So we have these 4 different videos types we're going to do. I hope they answer the questions you need. We're going to build up a community so that we have buddies to talk about this with. And, well, stay tuned. Subscribe. More to come. Bye.